Senator Harder.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Governments make mistakes. Those were the words I spoke in this chamber on May 1st, 2019, to commemorate the then 100th anniversary of one such mistake, when the following order in Council was passed by the Government of Canada. It read in part, whereas the Minister of Immigration and Colonization reports that, owing to conditions prevailing as a result of the war, a widespread feeling exists throughout the Dominion, and more particularly in Western Canada, that steps should be taken to prevent the entry to Canada of all persons who may be regarded as undesirable, owing to their peculiar customs, habits, modes of living, and methods of holding property. They are not likely to become readily assimilated or assume the duties and responsibilities of Canadian citizenship within a reasonable time. Whereas the Minister further reports that numerous representations have been received indicating that persons known as Doukhobors, Hutterites, and Mennonites are of the character and class described, and that consequently it is desirable to prohibit the entry to Canada of such. That order prevented my Harder and Thiessen grandparents, my parents and their siblings, and thousands of other Mennonites who had applied to come to Canada from leaving the Soviet Union. They were therefore stuck. I don't raise this simply to acknowledge the pain and suffering of those a century ago, but as a lesson in intolerance for today and as a testament against falsehoods and prejudice in our times. Jonathan Swift writes, "Falsehoods fly, and truth comes limping after." And so it did. While governments make mistakes, governments can also fix mistakes. After 3 years, exactly 100 years ago tomorrow, June 2nd, 1922, the then newly elected Government of Canada rescinded that order, saying, in an order in Council, His Excellency the Governor in Council, on recommendation of the Acting Minister of Immigration and Colonization, is pleased to order that the Order in Council of June 9, 1919, prohibiting the landing in Canada of any immigrant of Doukhobor, Hutterite, and Mennonite classes shall be, and the same is hereby rescinded as respects to Hutterites and Mennonites. That was signed by Mackenzie King and approved by Bing of Vimy. As a result, thousands of what became known as the Mennonite Exodus left the Soviet Union for Canada. Their immigration facilitated by travel loans from the Canadian Pacific Rail, guaranteed by their co-religionists in Canada. The banner headline of the Kitchener-Waterloo Record of that day boldly declared, "Mennonites now free to come into Canada." The article saying, "The order in Council promulgated by the Union government during the war restricting all Mennonite immigration into Canada has just been annulled by the Liberal government and as a result of the efforts of W.D. Euler, MP, according to information received by the Record's press gallery representative in Ottawa. The Mennonites are now as free to enter Canada as the adherents of any other faith. This announcement will be received with considerable pleasure by the thousands of Mennonites in Kitchener." And so it was. I speak today so that we may redouble our efforts to make Canada an ongoing beacon of protection for refugees, a welcoming centre for immigrants, celebrating pluralism, and as a bulwark against falsehoods and other claims of racial, gender, or religious intolerance in our time.